on, but I'm going to use some photographs to try to describe what I think of his personality. You know, just trying to summate it up. These are a combination of pop figures, politicians, sports stars, actors, no actresses, but that being said, hopefully you'll appreciate this. I'll try to give too much commentary, but sit there and absorb these photographs. Before I get started, Dr. Rogers and myself go way back, Dr. Zulke, I mean, a lot of these people go way back. I'm going to thank you all individually, but Colonel Cronin had a reputation before he arrived, you know. We went to dental school together. I don't know if you realize that. I was a senior and he was an incoming freshman. He had done a lot of stuff, served his country as a staff officer in the Army. But the only thing we heard about him was he was an oral maxillofacial surgeon, which is usually bad news. He was a lawyer. Everyone said he's a lawyer, which is even more bad news. And he's eligible for Social Security. I said, this is not going to be good, Noel. This is not going to be a happy time at Ridgemont High, because we had a thing going. We were brothers, you know. So again, like Maureen said, the first week or two, you know, he was stayed down in his room. There was fur flying out of that room. And I said, you know, stand by, just stand by, you know. So anyway, but there was one day, I forget when it happened. I don't know if we invited him down or we invited ourselves down to his office. But he eventually came down and he sat in a chair. We had a chair in the corner for him, and our room was all decorated up nice and everything. So we gave him a chair and we let him put his tuna fish and his Rockstar drink he always drinks every day right there in the corner. Frank's hot sauce, of course, he brought with him. And that's what he ate every day. A bag of tuna, dumped half a bottle of Frank's sauce, and pounded it down with Rockstar. He was ready to rock. So, make a long story short, we grew a friendship, okay? We grew a friendship. We were in the same school for a year. I was skinnier and had more hair, and you definitely had more hair back then. So when we saw each other, we were like, who are these people? But we had a common bond already, and that broke the ice. We all know in relationships, you have to have something in common, and we had a common bond that we both served our nation. We both went to dental school, which is a living hell if you've ever been through it, but we survived it. And we got to become a troika. So we got to know each other. So I'll shut up and I'll put some photographs up here, and then you tell me. You didn't all know his favorite color was pink, did you? Not a lot of people don't know, but he loves pink. And I couldn't think of anything but an Energizer Bunny, because he epitomizes that. He actually challenges this guy on a regular basis. He has a good motor. My motor's slowing down, but his motor, God bless you guys, he's got a good motor. He's the Energizer Bunny, and I respect him for that, because he goes and he puts a day's work in like I've never seen. Honestly, to tell you the truth, Pop. You make us look like we're wimps in there, but you make it happen. So, next slide. I can't remember which one this was, but I'll pop it up there. Oh! You know he loves motorcycles. This is a picture of Bob in 1968. You don't remember him looking that way, but that's where he was. He was friends with Captain America, and you didn't know that at the time because he hadn't gone to school. He hadn't cleaned up his act yet. This is Jack Nicholson up here. You don't realize that, an Easy Rider. So evidently the two rubbed off. I don't know what Captain America became of, but obviously him and Jack had something in common. He was a lawyer in the movie, and he was his sidekick. So he loves his Harleys, and that's where he is. He's a free spirit. Oh. We all know who that is. That's George Patton, General George Patton. That is Bob Cronin on the morning he goes to the operating room. That's what he looks like. He's got his helmet on. He's got his, what is it? The Cogswell in his hand. He's got his revolver, his Pearl revolver, and he's ready for action. This man knows how to go to war. He goes to war in his suit, and he makes things happen there. He's got the temperament of George Patton because he tells it like it is. He gets the job done, and he pisses a lot of people off on the way. That's him. All right. Who's? Oh! This is Bob Cronin. Bob. This is Michael Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps's head was photoshopped into Colonel Cronin. You know, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. So he has a second career. If he gets tired of what he's doing and, you know, taking out teeth and doing whatever, he's going to be a body double. So, and that's the Speedo he wears. At work, he wears that sometimes. You know, enough said. But it shows his determination. He's a swimmer. The guy can live in the pool. He's got gills in the back of his ears if you look at him closely. So, good look, Bob. Oh! There he is. This man, you all know him, you love him or hate him. He calls Bob on a regular basis. He gets advice because this guy, O'Reilly, only knows one guy that he listens to, and it's Cronin, because Cronin tells it like it is. And here's another guy that calls him on a regular basis for advice. So, another guy. Someone else that calls him for regular advice. This is like Dear Abby. He's got this thing going with some famous people. This is how Bob looks after hours. He usually calls them to get some fashion advice. Well, and Vin Diesel, Mr. Fast and Furious, he models himself again. That's a body double. That's not really Vin Diesel. Okay? Oh, here we are. The captains can appreciate this. What is Jack saying in that picture? Did you see the movie? What did he say? Tom Cruise is prosecuting him, and what is Jack saying right there? Tell him out loud.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. That's what he says to the captains over at Epps. You can't handle the truth. That's how he looks. Jack learned that from him. We know who that is up here? Tim the Toolman Taylor. That's his other life. And Bob Vila. These guys have nothing on this guy. This guy, when he comes into our room, he talks wood like no one else. He talks grain, he talks about aging, hardness, you name it. He talks in tongues, basically. So these are two of the guys that still consult with him on a regular basis. And finally, we come to the conclusion of this amazing person we have sitting here in front of us. We all know who this is. Who is this guy?
The second most interesting man in the world.
No, he is the most interesting man. He is the most interesting man. The only man in the world that Bob looks up to. The only person on the face of the earth. I'm sorry, Denise. He is the only person on the face of the earth that Bob looks up to.
He's got more money than Bob.
He is the one that says, you know, he's got the punchline. He says, what's the last thing he says in the commercial? He says, stay thirsty, my friend. Stay thirsty, my friend. That's my advice to you. I don't have to worry about that. But he's taken him, he flew up to Mars. Bob is now the most interesting man in the world. So congratulate him. God bless him.
Old surgeon coming in, what is his or her name? She said Colonel Cronin. I don't know a lot about him, but he's a little different from me. So that kind of was my first clue. As you start looking, when you hear things like that, red flags start going up. So our first encounter, you know, I think he sent me his bio. He sent me his resume, ORB. So then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. This guy is legit. So he set up an appointment with Ms. Bynes. He comes in, and he was just dressed right dressed. You know, sir, I'm here for 2 years. I hope you don't have a problem with me going to Buffalo to see my family and my wife. And I was like, no, that's not a problem at all, as long as you do what you need to do here. And out of that meeting, it was so funny because I had to realize this, I had to pinch myself and remember that I was the commander. Because, you know, you hear, you know, he's a lawyer, you know, he's an old surgeon. So obviously he's very bright and intelligent. And when you talk to him, and I always joke about him, when he would send emails, I would always have to have a dictionary by my side to translate and say, what the heck did you mean by that? a testament to his upbringing and his intelligence. But I want to personally thank you. And for those of you who don't know, this year, as we fell under MedCom, we had our first Joint Commission survey at Kimbrough. And for those of you who've been in the medical field, this is new for dental. And when Joint Commission comes through, they're not playing. They can literally shut you down. And when this gentleman realized that Joint Commission was coming, about 1.5 years out, he knew what needed to be done. And from that point on, he worked with the people that he needed to work with and developed a policy for the hospital that will probably be the template for the entire, definitely for the region, but for the entire Army dental care system. And I joke about him and I tell him that he should have been the oral surgery consultant, because he did what the oral surgery consultant should have done to set the oral surgeons up for success. But they didn't, and this young man did. He spent long hours fighting with the MedAct, because it wasn't easy. They're very protective of anesthesiology. And as you know, most oral surgeons like to push propofol. And as you know, because Michael Jackson died of propofol, the civilian sector, they get very cautious when that is thrown out. But those of you who have seen Colonel Cronin in practice, he knows what he's doing. He's got the instruments. He's not only he's a good surgeon, but he's a good anesthesiologist if he chose to do so. But he nailed that policy out. I mean, that policy went up to the Joint Commission, and it saved our behinds. It saved the hospitals behind. And the one thing that I, thank him the most for is he could have bowed down and said, "Forget it. I'm out in 2 years. Let the next oral surgeon fight that battle when Joint Commission survey comes around in 3 years." But he said no. He said, I'm going to knock the door down, do the legwork now, so that that next oral surgeon will have it easy. All he has to do is follow the procedures, and he'll stay out of trouble. But what he didn't realize is, because of that hard work, his policy got pushed out to the entire Army dental care system. Europe, Korea, you name it. It became the footprint. And now all the oral surgeons have to do is modify the policy to their liking, and it'll keep them out of trouble if they listen and take heed to it. So, I heard a lot of talk about, he's compassionate about patients, his staff, but he also was very protective of the profession and the oral surgeons, and I commend him for that. He did a phenomenal job, and his works and efforts will have a lasting effect for years to come. And I thank you for that. I really do, because you didn't have to do it, but you did it because you knew it was right. And he's always been there, and I thank his candor, his frankness. I'd send him an email, and I knew what the answer was going to be before he sent it back. But I said, I've got to send it out. And sure enough, he never fooled me. He came back with, a little. It was respectful, but it was.
Sorry.
But it was, it's humor. You know how it's humor is.
Right.
But I understood. I understood, and I needed that. I needed for my senior leaders to let me know as a commander, hey, although I'm a colonel, he's a colonel as well, but I need leaders to tell me like it is, because then that'll keep me out of trouble. So he did a phenomenal job.